Ladies and gentlemen, if I can ask you to just occupy the seats that are unoccupied, please. And then may we please rise for the national and AU anthems, please. Thank you. You may be seated. Now, last week, thousands of flights were grounded globally. Surgeries disrupted, banking services offline. You all know what I'm talking about, right? Yes, the fact that one software update could have such widespread effects on IT services really accentuates the importance of the IT sector, and particularly having conferences such as the one we're gathered for here today. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kudo Brandt, and I have the pleasure of being your Director of Ceremonies today. But before we begin, in Africa, we cannot begin, right? Before you walk into someone's house, you must be welcomed. So allow me to welcome the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Errol Naumab, to officially welcome us to this conference. Sir?
Thank you so much, Ms. Kudo Brandt, the director of the proceedings this morning. Allow me just to get my remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an esteemed honor to welcome you this morning to this prestigious event. Allow me to set the protocol as follows. Professor Anisha Peters, the Chief Executive Officer, National Commission on Research, Science and Technology. Professor Michael Hinchey, who's the Director or Director-elect IEEE Region 8 in South Africa. Mr. Ferdinand Katire is the Acting Deputy Secretary General, Namibia Commission for UNESCO Secretariat. Mr. Rian Berger, who is the Chief Executive Officer of NAMTEP Diamond Corporation. Dr. Lige Rastes, Managing Director of Mobile Telecommunications Limited. Dr. Otoku Okuru, Chair of IEEE South Africa. Professor Andrew Nikondo and the other university executives. I only see Dr. Nikondo here. Professor Fungai Funushaba, the Executive Dean, Faculty of Computing and Informatics, and General Chair of the 2023 Etncc. Professor Dharam Singh Yat, who's our UNESCO Chair on Secure High Performance Computing for Higher Education and Research. I recognize all the keynote speakers and guest speakers, government officials present here, distinguished captains of industry, distinguished invited guests, all the delegates, members of the diplomatic corps and the media present. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good morning. I indeed have the greatest pleasure to welcome you all to the Namibia University of Science and Technology, and particularly to this 4th International Conference on Emerging Trends in Networks and Computer Communication. I want to take the moment to particularly recognize our UNESCO Chair on Secure High Performance Computing for Higher Education and Research. I think you know this gentleman, Professor Dharam Singh Yat. Can you rise for a moment? Now, remain standing, Prof, as I talk about you. He's the gentleman who jointly organizes this conference with our Faculty of Computing and Informatics. And I want to say a few things about him. Professor Dharam Singh Yat, I want to sincerely appreciate your dedication and excellent scholarship. Your work builds the very foundations for capacity development and creates the requisite critical mass of high-level expertise and strengthening technology development in the focus areas, particularly focus areas of smart and secure environment. So we want to take this moment to sincerely thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been informed that this conference will run in a hybrid mode. We sometimes refer to it here as a blended mode. The hybrid mode that will run over 3 days. Therefore, allow me to welcome everyone who is presential and also those who are virtual. This is truly a unique platform for us as academia and as industry to come together and shape the future of technology-driven sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, Director of the proceedings, allow me to particularly also thank Mr. Ferdinand Katire. I don't know if you know this man. Mr. Katire, rise for a moment. We appreciate his support in terms of the work that the Namibia Commission for UNESCO Secretariat does, and your continued support is recognized. Thank you. I want to also take this moment to particularly welcome and acknowledge Professor Alicia Peters. I don't know if you know her. Let us allow her to rise, Professor Peters, so that we can recognize also the contribution that you made to the research landscape in this country. Keep up the good work. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference could not have occurred without the technical co-sponsorship of the IEEE South Africa and the IEEE Region 8. Therefore, a special welcome to the Director of IEEE Region 8, Professor Michael Henche. Is he here? He's online. Professor Michael Henche, we are delighted that you continue to support this initiative, and as the inaugural keynote speaker of this particular conference. Also, by extension, I would like to, you're welcome, sir. I would like to acknowledge your contribution as a member of our advisory committee for a PhD program in computer science. So thank you indeed for your scholarship support. Similarly, I would also like to welcome and acknowledge Dr. Otoku Okuru, who's the chair of the Institute for Electrical and Electronics Engineering, South Africa, for providing indeed the technical co-sponsorship and continued support for this conference series. Is he online as well? Sir, we recognize you and thank you for your contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to also take a moment. You're welcome, sir. Allow me to also have a special welcome to Mr. Rian Becker from NAMTEP. He's the Chief Executive Officer of NAMTEP Corporation. And I want to say the following things as you rise for a moment, sir, so we can recognize you, particularly to thank you for your fruitful contributions and support that we received through NAMTEP and your leadership, sir. This includes, for example, the high performance computing for coastal modeling, and particularly the challenge that you're facing with the accretion as you venture into new mining opportunities. I've been there and I've seen how much of a challenge that is. And I'm looking forward to working with NAMTEP to find lasting solutions to those challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to also recognize and welcome a man of a remarkable stature, a gentleman familiar to our community, a gentleman who's a proud alumni of this institution, a thought leader in telecommunications, Dr. Liki Erastus, the Managing Director of Telecommunications. Say, Bryce, so we can recognize. Thank you for your invaluable and continuous support for this, and also serving as our conference industry partner. Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, alumni. Oh, alumni, Professor Peters. Did you get your, what do you call this? You got it. Did you get the special, the break? We gotta have a break for you here, Professor. You did? Okay. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all may be aware, this conference will focus on proposing new technologies, sharing experiences, and discussing future solutions for designing wired and wireless network, high-performance computing, emerging and intelligent computing, smart communications and networking, IoT automation, vehicle communication, artificial intelligence, edge computing, blockchain, and cybersecurity, among others. Against this backdrop, the conference is a forum where participants will present papers, will network for future collaborations, publish, socialize, and discover what is new. Ladies and gentlemen, it is remarkable to note the following. Firstly, the conference brings together over 200 participants, including researchers from 23 countries, over 5 continents. Let's recognize and give a round of applause. I am informed that this conference received over 339 papers were submitted. Of the 339 papers, 129 were accepted for the main technical program after a thorough and rigorous international peer review process. That means the acceptance rate for the submitted papers is a mere 38%. But this reflects the prestige and the popularity of the Etncc. Now, therefore, it is even more gratifying that 15 papers are from the Namibia University of Science and Technology, Faculty of Computing. Well done, colleagues. We are extremely proud of your achievements. Director of Ceremonies, in conclusion, we've invited esteemed speakers who are renowned experts in their respective fields, and their insightful, defining addresses will undoubtedly broaden our perspectives and inspire new avenues of research. In addition to keynote presentations, the conference will feature parallel technical sessions and interactive workshops. This comprehensive program encourages active participation and ensures that every attendee has an ample opportunity to share their knowledge, present their research findings, and engage in meaningful discussions. I congratulate the Faculty of Computing and Informatics for their commitment and the superb drive in organizing this conference. Executive Dean, rise for a moment so we can thank you particularly for that. Thank you indeed. Finally, I sincerely appreciate all the participants who have traveled far and wide to join Namibia or join us here in Namibia. Your presence and active engagement will undoubtedly enrich the conference and contribute to its success. You've made this gathering possible. Without your merit research work, there would be no Etncc. I encourage you to make the most of this opportunity, foster new connections and establish collaborations that will shape the future of research and and I would like to take this moment to also encourage you to enjoy the beautiful landscape of our country. They say once you've been kissed by the warm sun rays of Namibia, you always return back to me. Ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, I would like to declare this conference, therefore, officially open. And thank you for this opportunity.
Another round of applause for our Vice Chancellor, please. Isn't it so exciting just to hear how many people really passed through this campus and how many are proud alumni of this institution? I think when everybody comes up to stage, you must tell us your NAST affiliation. We're very proud to have you here. Now, they say collaboration is the new competition, and it is evident from the Vice Chancellor's remarks really just how much we value working together with our different partners. Thank you so much, VC, for welcoming us. Your passion for scientific research, innovation, and technology is next to none. Thank you. Now, for us to properly digest the VC's remarks and really be officially welcomed, as he said, I'm going to call upon the Ellis to play an ensembler for us as they're coming to stage again, a NAST product, one of them. Emmanuel, I just learned that he's a master of data science, you said? Yeah, student right here at NAST. So we are talented in very different areas. A round of applause for them, please.
Good morning, everyone.
I wanna take it to we can make it deep. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Many places better. Started from zero, got nothing. Maybe we'll make something. Being myself, I got nothing. You got a fast car. I've got a plan to get us out of here. Looking at the corner. And it's just a little bit of money. You won't have to drive too far. Cross the border and into the city. You and I could both get job. Finally see what it means to be free. See, I remember you driving in your car. Speed so fast, felt like I was young. City light day out before. Your thumb felt nice wrapped around my shoulder, and I had a feeling that I'm gone. I had a feeling I could be some, be some, be some.
Thank you so much for that lovely piece. Now I was watching a video the other day, and it was a kid that was in class, so basically a class setup. And the teacher asked, "What does your mom do?" One of the kids puts up their hands. This is a true story. Puts up their hands and says, "My mom attends conferences." Now it turned out it was actually an academic. So I think definitely conferences is part of the game, but beyond that, to really measure, yes, you must network, you must speak to different people, you must engage. That's how we share knowledge and expertise, right? But what is the impact? So maybe I think it's time to call upon Prof. Dam Singh, who has been leading the organization of this whole conference that we're gathered for here today, to really just give us an overview of this conference, what it is that we're trying to achieve, and what will be some of the takeaways, or rather what should be some of the takeaways. Prof? And as he's coming up, I must highlight, he is our UNESCO Chair on Secure High Performance Computing. He's going to tell us what that is all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Koda. Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Thanks, Vice Chancellor, for appreciation. Good morning. On behalf of Technical Program Committee, I am pleased to present the overview of this hybrid conference of emerging trend in network computer communication 2024. The international conference is being organized by the UNESCO Chair of Secure High Performance Computing for Higher Education Research, Faculty of Computing and Informatics, the Namibia Institute of Science and Technology. The conference technically co-sponsored by IEEE South Africa sections, as well as supported by IEEE Region 8. Etncc features a high-quality technical program across a wide range of research areas in high-performance computing and emerging trend in network computer communications, directory ceremonies. As we see already, present some statistics that the conference discussed innovative issues internationally by bringing over together 200 contributors and the participants. And you know, the Etncc fortune of received 339 papers, of which 129 were accepted for the technical program after double-blind peer review process. This year, we have 23 countries from 5 continents presented at at this conference. And the acceptance rate for the submitted paper is 38%. The competitive acceptance rate, 38%, reflect the prestigious and popularity of the conference in our research community. The accepted paper have been divided into 20 technical sessions. A workshop on high performance computing for coastal modeling will be organized in conjunction with the conference. The workshop consists of presentation by 5 notable experts and discussion in the area of high performance computing and nanotechnology. A distinguished speaker session will be organized at the conference featuring 5 eminent speakers from Singapore, Malaysia, South Africa, and Asia. All accepted and presented paper will be published in prestigious IEEE Explorer, become part of the world highest quality body of technical literature in computing, informatics, science, and technology. And all the paper will be submitted for the Scopus Index. We take special pride in hosting our master and PhD students who, together with our faculty, staff, lead the Namibian academic community in research undertaken and scientific paper published. The conference includes inaugural session, a distinguished speaker session, 20 technical session, a research day, a workshop, and validatory session and INDABA in parallel with the technical sessions on research day. Day 1 on July 24, the first day of the conference begins with the inaugural session, followed by a distinguished speaker session, which includes 5 keynote speakers. In the afternoon, 8 parallel sessions will be organized in 2 slots for 55 paper presentation. Day 2 of the conference is the Faculty Computing Informatics Research Day. The aim of Research Day in conjunction with the Etncc conference is to increase the number of research publications in the faculty and improve the research quality so that the result of the faculty research will be known to the public and can be produced massive as the part of the improvement of people's life quality and prosperity. Faculty Research Day consisting of inaugural sessions, a keynote speech, and African Research Symposium. The African Research Symposium program includes an invited talk, an oral contribution from Faculty of Computing Informatics and African researchers. It is the excellent opportunity for all faculty members, research scholars, and students to exhibit their aptitude for research. Research Day encouraged and promote communications and collaboration between the researcher at the university, national and international level. After inaugural session, 4 technical sessions will be held in 2 slots for 27 presentations. In the afternoon, a workshop on high performance computing for coastal mining will be organized by HPC and mining industry experts, and 2 paper presentation will be given by the Faculty of Computing research scholar. Further, INDABA Namibia 2024 will be organized in parallel with the technical sessions under the theme of harnessing the power of data and the artificial intelligence for Namibia development, which will provide a unique platform for young innovation to develop and showcase solutions that address critical economic and societal changes. And Faculty of Computing Informatics Research Seminar will be organized, and 17 abstract presentations will be presented in 2 technical sessions in the afternoon. Day 3rd, on July 25th, 8 technical sessions will be held for 45 papers presentation, followed by the validatory session. We warmly thank to keynote speakers, the reviewers, around 274 reviewers for this conference, the session chairs, and all researchers and scientists who contributed to the conference organization with their time and efforts. But above all, we thank to authors and presenters for making the Etncc conference a great success. Thank you for everyone who has contributed to the technical program, the authors, the reviewers, and the technical program committee members for their terrific work in evaluating all the technical papers. On behalf of technical program committee, I wish a productive and enjoyable conference, I think.
Thank you so much, Prof. It will certainly be a very eventful. Now, do you know how many UNESCO chairs NAST has? Just a guess, somebody, you can shout, please feel free. Besides Prof, the Dean, anybody, no, anybody else, any one of the students? Just a wild guess, how many UNESCO chairs do you think NAST has? I'm looking for that. I don't know if you heard that, but I'll let you consult Dr. Google and I'll ask you later again, right? Can we have that deal? Okay, now staying on UNESCO, I would like to call upon Mr. Ferdinand Katire. He is the Acting Deputy Secretary General of the Namibian National Commission for UNESCO Secretariat in the Ministry of Higher Education, Technology and Innovation. Sir.
Good morning. Director of Ceremony, I will stand on the protocol that has been established by the Vice Chancellor of the University of Science and Technology, and also the Chair of the Natural Science Program Committee of the Namibian National Commission for UNESCO. On behalf of the Namibian National Commission for UNESCO Secretariat, I congratulate the Namibian University of Science and Technology and the UNESCO Chair on Secured High Performance Computing for Higher Education and Research on organizing this highly significant international conference on the emerging trends in networks and computer communication. Ladies and gentlemen, the UNESCO Chair on Secured High Performance Computing for Higher Education and Research that is hosted by NAST is part of a global network of over 950 chairs that is spread over 120 countries that play a very unique role within globally of forging partnerships among academia, civil society, decision makers, communities, and thus harnessing a collective intelligence that acts as a catalyst for joint action. The objective of the UNESCO Chairs Program is to mobilize higher education and research institutions to address the interdependent challenges of today's increasing complex world. The program has strengthened higher education system and it fostered collaborative research and partnerships and networks. The UNESCO Chair Program has also contributed to the development of new teaching programs, the generation of novel ideas through research and dialogue, and it has contributed to the enriching existing higher education partnerships and network. And most importantly, it has inspired the generation of students and researchers to align their work with UNESCO in support of the organization's ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference aligns quite well with these objectives of the Chairs programs of UNESCO. It has brought together the UNESCO Chair community, researchers, civil society representatives, students on an open platform for discussion, collaboration, knowledge exchange, to expand cooperation and to tackle the pressing issues of our societies in the field of the NAST Chair. We're happy to note that the NAST Chair and his chairholder is contributing to the production of a critical mass of high-level experts. Finally, what is our role as National Commission for UNESCO? Besides being engaged in the initial process of application or renewal of application, we have a role to play in encouraging interdisciplinary dialogue and cooperation between the chairs and the unit twin networks at the country level, and leveraging their expertise to contribute to UNESCO programs. With those few brief remarks, I once again would like to congratulate the NAST Chair. Indeed, it is a milestone in the history of the Chair, I would want to believe this is the second conference of this nature. Thank you and have a successful conference.
I was speaking so highly about collaboration and so forth, but the height of this mic is not really collaborative. But here I am. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I asked earlier how many chairs, UNESCO chairs we have. Did you manage to find out? Yes, how many? Thank you. Okay, so that is correct. We've got 4 UNESCO chairs at the Namibia University of Science and Technology. And you know in which faculty? Which faculty? I think the clue is we're in the hosts. Faculty of Computing and Informatics. Please work with me, but I'll let you know which chairs they are. So there's the chair on sustainable water research for climate adaptation and saline agriculture in arid environments, chair on secure high performance computing for higher education and research, chair for gender in digital technologies, and the chair for digital technology design with indigenous people. I think that deserves a round of applause, and they're all in the Faculty of Computing and Informatics. Now, great. Now, next on our program, we have a man who's no stranger to the institution. I don't know if he's an alumni, but I know for sure he has been involved in different many MOUs that we've had at the institution over the years through NAMDEB. So, sir, Mr. Rienberger, if you could come to the stage, please, and let us know. I'm keeping my fingers crossed if you're the last alumni. If not, we've got a lot of programs that you can involve in.
Yeah, okay. So please allow me to stand on the protocol already observed and the director of ceremonies. So it's always very dangerous for a person like me to speak at an event like this. So firstly, I'm from industry. I don't have a title like doctor or professor or anything like that. I'm just Mr. Berger. So regrettably, I'm not an alumni of NUST, although my father used to be on the board of NUST many years ago. So Dr. Berger, so that was my old name. I'm not going to try to speak much about the academic side. Firstly, because I know so little about it. But what I want to tell you a little bit about is what is the application of technology? What does it mean in the real world? And I think we often have a problem that we battle to get those two worlds together. The world of academia and the world of business. And I can tell you at NAMDEB, we actually absolutely depend on technology nowadays. We absolutely depend on the capacity of people to reimagine the way that we work in business. So a little bit of context, and I know I might steal a little bit of your time, but just understanding of how we work. Our mineral resource, we've been mining for 100 years, more than 100 years, in the southern coastal part of Namibia. Now, after 100 years of mining, you would think that now the diamonds are done. But actually, our mineral resource extends into the sea, into the area, actually, all the way from us on man mining on land to Deep Marine Namibia mines offshore, about 30 kilometers offshore and about 100 meters of water depth. But that area is actually hosted diamondiferous, the undersea floor. And what we've been doing for the last 10, 12 years is consciously actually starting to push the sea back, creating new, what we call accreted areas into the sea, where we push sand into the sea, then we dry those areas out, and then we mine that. The problem with that, of course, is that the mineral resource that sits under the sea, firstly, you need to establish that there's a mineral resource, which is a whole bunch of technology on its own. And then secondly, When you're pushing sand into the sea, and we push over 100 million tons of sand into the sea every year. Now, just for context, it takes us roughly 5 hours to mine the size of the entire Namdeb building here in town. That's a volume of sand that we move. We move immense amount of sand. Now, just doing that costs you well over $1 billion Namibian a year to move that amount of sand. You're going to put that into the sea, create new beaches, and then you're going to dry that area out, and you're going to mine diamonds under there. The challenge, of course, with that is putting sand into the sea. This sea is incredibly rough. It's one of the roughest seas in the world. It moves the sand, it moves everything away very, very rapidly. How do you know the beaches are going to be where you put the sand? Because sand is transported coastwise and taken away. Now, in the past, we just, we put sand in, there will be a beach. It doesn't happen that way. There's a whole coastal evolution process. We tried to model it 20 years ago, 22 years ago, in fact. I started working with a CSIR in South Africa to try and model, how's this going to work? And I tell you, it took us every time that we asked them to run a model, it took months and months and months, and they had hardware, actually built little models to try and do this, and then try to simulate how the coast will evolve over time. And it was an incredibly difficult process. And then through technology, what started to happen is we're able to model that mathematically. Now, obviously, it wasn't me. I told you there's no title, there's no doctor. Those are the smart people. There are some of them online working for us and also working with yourselves nowadays. And that process grew and grew and grew to such an extent now that we can predict exactly where the coast is going to be. When we put sand in here, when we put what we call groins in there. And this wasn't an easy process. Let me tell you, a few years ago, I think about 7, 8 years ago now, we had an accretion conference. We brought all the world's experts to Oranje. Say, okay, sit down. We had the University of Delft in the Netherlands. As you know, the Dutch, they're very good at predicting this. And we had all the top experts in the world, and they took one look at our coastline and what we're trying to do, and they all shook their heads and said, nobody's done this before. We don't know how to do this. And so we actually had to build that capacity ourselves. We built it with a lot of help. And we built it, and essentially now we're actually improving that all the time to make sure that when we spend that money, beach lines are actually going to be where we predict they're going to be. That takes an incredible amount of computer modeling, and the power now of that modeling sits here at NUST. And that is really, really a great advantage for Namibia. Obviously, we need to build more. Yeah. We need to build more and more capacity in that way because we're still learning. Every day we're still learning. 2 weeks ago, we had this massive storm coming through Cape Town. I don't know if you've seen that. Oh, yes, we had the bad weather here. But you won't believe the size of the waves, 9-meter swells hitting that coastline. And to be able to predict exactly what is that storm going to do to your beaches, how's it going to affect what the sand that you put into the sea? That's absolutely invaluable to us. However, this technology, this ability to predict where the coastline is going to be, is going to mean much, much more to Namibia in future. As we go more into the marine environment with the new oil discoveries, we're going to have to build more capacity on land, more harbors, more dockyards, more capacity to do our own thing to support this industry. You can only do that if you understand how the sediment in the sea moves. So the capacity we're busy building today is going to be invaluable for this country in future. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how the work you do here at NUST gets together what we do in industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. Berger. No, I think that we really appreciate that. And, really hearing you speak really puts into perspective what it is that we're trying to achieve here, to really bridge the gap between industry and academia and make sure that it meets and we all speak the very same language. So thank you so much. Still staying with the family. Now we're moving on to Dr. Likia Rastas, who's no stranger to the HTTPS, this very same building that we are in this ecosystem. Sir, if I can welcome you to the podium. He is also a very proud master alumni, PhD graduate from this mighty institution. Sir, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you. Whoever came up with the program knows me very well, because I like to follow at least 3 or 4 speakers so that I can always continue on the protocol that has been set. I remember Kuda coming to my office sometime last year to come and sell the Walk of Fame concept. And I was actually on my way out. So I just said to her, could I just say what you want? The answer is yes, I need to rush. And she was very surprised because she came with a speech, how to convince me to be the first recipient of the Walk of Fame. Mr. Berger was very diplomatic, but I captured the keywords that you used. One of them were, you did it yourselves. And that's a narrative that we are pushing within the auspices of the HTTPS. We are pushing a narrative of what can we achieve proudly as Namibians. You used another word to say collaborate. And by the way, NAMDEP is also our strategic partner as Etncc. We have built a network for them. Earlier I was telling Mr. Berger that I need to see how I get to NAMDEP. It's just a pity there's only 2 flights. So I hope part of the outcome today is that some of you might design something that is somewhere between a car and a plane for days like this when one has to go to NAMDEP. Now, standing on the protocols that has already been established. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a privilege this morning to make a remark here. I was asking Prof. Singh earlier that how did you put me on the program if I didn't acknowledge that I will be here? And he said, you must be here, you have no choice. So that's the spirit. Now, through innovative advancements in computer communications and networking, numerous societal and economic challenges has been addressed, leading to efficient service solutions and the emergence of innovative startups and the establishment of a robust IT infrastructure, all of which necessitate collaborative efforts on both national and international scales. Over the past decade, significant strides have been made in bridging the digital divide globally. However, there are still 2.6 billion individuals worldwide lacking access to the internet. Today, digital connectivity has become critical in our society. It enables access to essential services through digital technologies such as remote education, digital agriculture, telemedicine, online banking, and a myriad of applications connecting individuals to the digital economy. Digital technologies have the potential to contribute to achieve 70% of the UN Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Yesterday, I had a meeting with the UN and all their agencies, where we were mapping out the areas of collaboration. And while we were waiting for the meeting to start, we were playing a game around SDP. It's similar to 30 seconds. but this is specifically for the SDPs. It shows how serious and aggressive the UN is in terms of sustainable development goals and to achieve that by 2030. The absence of adequate policies, investments, and digital skills poses challenges for many nations striving to keep pace with the rapid transformation in the digital landscape. If I have to amplify on that, a few years back, we all believed that in order to address challenges, you need to build skills in-house. Over the years, we have learned and accepted that we need to collaborate. We need to collaborate and leverage on the strength that our strategic partners have. And we need to optimize the skills and the resources because we are a very small community. So it won't help that we do things in silos and expect to be impactful. And that was basically the purpose also why MTC partnered with NAST in order to invest in the HTTPS that we see here. And we were very deliberate because we said we need to provide thought leadership to problem statements that our partners have out there. Esteemed guests, the Etncc 2024 conference serves as a platform to explore how digital innovations can facilitate universal connectivity and foster sustainable prosperity for all. With the escalating threats to network security arising from the Internet of Things, the expansion of the attack surface, and the increasing network challenges, safeguarding future networks becomes increasingly intricate and demanding. Several research articles presented at this conference or that will be presented at this conference will propose scalable and adaptive security solutions tailored for 5G networks. The forthcoming generation of wireless networks, be 5G or 6G, is anticipated to support a wide array of low latency Internet of Things applications, including military operations, vehicle to everything communication, we call it V2X, augmented and virtual reality, AR/VR, precision agriculture, disaster response, autonomous driving, remote surgery, among others, owing to the substantial advancements in wireless communication. The integration of 5G and 6G technologies further enhances mobile edge computing by offering ultra-low latency and high bandwidth connections. Now, this conference convenes experts, leaders, and innovators from around the globe to drive forward innovation. Researchers from more than 23 countries have converged to deliberate on research and innovation in high-performance computing and communication networks. The insights and recommendations stemming from this conference will set the stage for ongoing development and implementation of groundbreaking solutions that will shape the future of global communications. Director of Ceremonies, I'm delighted to announce that MTC is the premier digital service provider committed to generating sustainable values for its stakeholders through innovative digital solutions. And we have made significant strides in deploying next generation networks. We have successfully implemented 3G, 4G, and 4.5G technologies in Namibia in collaboration with stakeholders and have conducted a successful trial for 5G network connectivity. The advent of 5G services offers numerous advantages, including seamless coverage, high data, low latency, high data rates, and highly reliable communication systems. The recommendations arising from this conference will prove invaluable in the implementation of 5G connectivity and the preparedness for 6G connectivity for the country. So to foster robust ties with the university, MTC eagerly anticipates expanding collaborations with the UNESCO chair, the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, and the wider academic community to advance research in high-performance computing and future networks in a synergistic manner. This collaborative endeavor promotes research aligned with the needs of the telecommunications industry, consultancy services, and other industry-related activities, fostering the growth of institute-industry partnerships. Esteemed guests, as we stand at the threshold of a new technological epoch, the significance of 5G in our current economic landscape cannot be overstated. The cybersecurity challenges we encounter, Kuda mentioned something that happened a few days ago, are effectively addressed by the advanced encryption and network slicing capabilities of 5G, ensuring secure environments for our digital interactions. We believe that together we are pioneering cutting-edge solutions and harnessing the full potential of 5G, ensuring Namibia's competitiveness on the global stage. May the upcoming days be filled with enriching exchanges. I extend my best wishes for the success of this pivotal conference and eagerly anticipate the outcomes. We are eager to collaborate on the subsequent editions of this conference. Thank you.
I need to chair it, you say. Thank you so much, Dr. Eliki Erastus. Now, all the terminology that you were throwing around is very interesting. Robust IT infrastructure, digital transformation, 3G, 4G, 5G networks. It really just reminds us that MTC is much, much more than SIM card registration. On that note, I do hope you did register your SIM cards. I know it's way late now. But moving on, our next speaker, I understand is online, is Dr. Udochukwu Ukuru Chair. He's the IEE South Africa section. If he's online, sir, if you can just join us, we'll be highly grateful for that. Please also note, ladies and gentlemen, this conference is technically co-sponsored by the IEE South Africa section. Oh, got that right.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Program Director. And thanks a lot to the organizers of this conference, especially the host, the Vice Chancellor of Namibia University of Science and Technology, Dr. Errol Naumab. Thanks for the opportunity to attend and also collaborate with the conference organizers. I also want to thank Prof. Dan Sinch, who happens to be the face of the conference due to his role as the UNESCO chair, as well as the TPC chair. But I also want to acknowledge the general chairs and all the organizers, committee members for this conference, as well as my boss. I will call him my boss because of the way we are structured in IEEE, Director-elect, Prof. Michael Hick-Inky. So on that basis, I will stand on all other protocols to give a brief talk about IEEE and the potentials that it portends for Namibia. Yeah, so my topic is membership growth towards the formation of IEEE in Namibia. Okay, maybe I just put my camera on if it's also is possible for me to be viewed. Okay, so my profile is shown in the next slide in my presentation. Of course, the highlight is when I joined IEEE as a member in 2013. And over the years, I have grown through the ranks in my volunteer activities and other engagements, which also has benefited me professionally. I also want to say that I am a lecturer here in the University, Tshwane University of Technology, South Africa. Okay, so what is IEEE? So IEEE, as an acronym, it stands for Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. It is the world's largest technical professional organization dedicated to the advancement of technology for the benefit of humanity. And for me, that is the highlight of what we stand, we represent as IEEE. The technology we are involved in is targeted towards the society. So basically, we do a lot of community service in the global landscape. And this we can see through our engagements with our members through publications, conferences like this conference that we are all attending, through standards, development of technical standards, as well as professional and educational activities. Our values are technical innovation, access to cutting-edge information, networking opportunities, and exclusive members' benefits. So all of these, I am a beneficiary of it, and that is why I would perhaps speak to it as I make this presentation to the August attendants in this conference. Okay, in terms of our mission, it is to foster technological innovation and excellence for the benefits of humanity. So you always see the word humanity. So we are a technological, professional organization, but our focus mostly is what we can give back to the society. So I just talk briefly about IEEE South Africa, since we are technical co-sponsor of this conference, the ENCC conference, as a section. So in IEEE, I'm going to show you very soon, we have what we call a section, which most of the time represents a country, but not necessarily. So in South Africa, as a section, we were established in 1977. That is around 47 years ago. Currently, we have 13 local chapters and joint chapters, which represent 22 technical societies and councils. We have 3 affinity groups, 8 student branches, and 11 student branch chapters. We hold events and conferences every year. As an example of the one we are attending currently, which is outside our shore, for the obvious reason that Namibia is yet to have its own section, and that is what my talk is about, by the way. We offer various conference and publication support, and we also have good relations with other industry and professional organizations here in South Africa, like the SAIEE, as well as ETncc. These are some charts just to show our current membership. From the look of things, we are usually considered as a medium-sized region because our membership range between 600 and 1,000 annually. Okay, so IEEE as an organization revolves around its membership. So here is just a chart of the organization flow. And you see right at the top is the member. So, but of course, we have what we call the 2 highest level of leadership structure, which is the board of directors as well as the assembly. The highlight is that any of the member can aspire to be in this leadership hierarchy. And of course, for the board of directors, it is split into different boards, like the publication and services products and board, the educational activities board, the standards board, the membership geographic and activities board, as well as the technical activities board. So all these boards helps to spread the reach of IEEE in terms of benefiting the community in which it is meant to serve. The assembly usually is made up of most of the directors of the different boards, as well as the elected president of the organization globally, who serves a 3-year term, first of all as the president-elect, and then as the president, substantive president, and also as a past president. We have a small number of full-time staff who, in this case, are not volunteers. We will also contribute in fulfilling the objectives and the mandate of the Institute. Okay, so I think I've mentioned this. I will just skip some of these. I talk a little about the community. So when you are in IEEE, you see yourself as part of the community. So we collaborate, we work together every member have the same potential, like I've said, and can aspire aspire towards the highest leadership roles and professional, development as a member. So that is what the community is all about. We work together to build career, to mentor, to network, and also to create advancement for technology that benefits society. Okay, so I move now to the regions. Globally, IEEE is divided into 10 regions. I highlight region 8 because that's where we belong, Africa, Middle East, and Europe. So, but of course, we have regions all over the world, and the region is just to distribute the geographic units to bring the impacts of the Institute closer to members as well as the different communities. So I talk about the section now. So in South Africa, we consider ourselves a section. So what is a section? Sections provide their members a venue to share technical, professional, and personal interests with their fellow members who live and work in close proximity. So that's always the objective of the section, but not necessarily all the time that a section is a country, because like I have shown here, there are different regions in the world, and you can see some of the regions are not made up of continents. Like in the US, we have up to 6 regions because of the size of that country. So when we talk of section, basically it's just breaking down the region so that we can reach our members more, closer. And then within the regions, we now have the chapters. So the technical chapters are now situated within the regions, and those technical chapters sort of make it possible for members to align to their technical interests and competencies. Then, of course, in the section, we also have volunteering, which goes through in terms of management, teamwork, and leadership. And as volunteers, we're able to gain recognition and as well as serve community. And we also recognize our contributions are also recognized. So for the technical councils, which, like I've said, is the local chapters within the section, broadly speaking, it is divided into 10 divisions, which involves the circuit and devices and the likes as I've listed here. But you can see now within all these different divisions, you have the specific societies, 39 of them specifically, where you can function professionally. Like, for example, I am a member of IAS, Industry Application Society. You have the Power Electronics Society. You have the Circuit Systems and System Society, and a whole host of them. So, as soon as you come in, you are able computer, which is a bit aligned to this conference, communication technology. You have those societies which sort of benefit you more closely as a member. These are some quick facts. I will just keep them because I guess maybe we can always access. But the long and short of it is that we are a very big organization, and we provide world-class, impact to the community we serve. For example, our publications are cited 3 times more than any other publisher in the top 50 patenting organizations worldwide. Our members have been awarded Nobel Prizes, 21 of them so far. And so far, we have our members have filed in excess 140,000 patents and the likes. So we also publish 3 out of the top 5 publications on AI, automation, control system, and computer systems globally. Okay, let me look at the membership grades. So for you attending, and your interest now will be, okay, so how do I become, how do I become a member, and which category do I fall in? So these are the different categories of membership. Student membership, of course, here we look at the undergraduate students mostly, and the graduate memberships are those who have maybe had the first degree and they are pursuing a postgraduate program in the designated field. Then we have associate members, those who may not find technical, perhaps technical or non-technical relevance to us, but at the same time, they do not meet the qualification for, maybe say, I'm a student, I'm a graduate because they've not finished a program, but they work in the field and all those kind of things. So we provide this membership category for them. Then we have the full member. So the full member are those who are not students, the lowest membership you get after you have finished your student career. So normally we expect that a student member should not exceed 8 years in total. So most times after a student have completed 8 years as a member, it's moved automatically to being a full member. And of course, we have the full senior member, the fellow member, which is all usually a recognition given to people who have distinguished themselves in the profession. In terms of dues, so approximately the South African rand is approximate to the Namibian dollar, if I'm not mistaken. So in terms of dues, these are the dues. And what I would say basically is it is not as big as you may think, because at the end of the day, we sort of even it out around the year due to maybe benefits, other benefits like conference attendance where we get discounts and the likes. For now, being that we have gone beyond the half part of this year, if you join as a member, you only pay half of the amount required. Then I also want to emphasize that for student membership, it is usually very, very low and sometimes even free for some technical societies. And a lot of benefit, like I've mentioned, you keep technically current, you have career resources and recognition, you develop your professional network, you are benefiting from continuing education resources, you have discounts, as well as you're engaged in humanitarian programs and the likes. Okay, so for us in Namibia, so this is what I'm proposing, and I think there's no better person to begin to pursue this than Professor Sinj. I think it is high time Namibia begin to think of forming a section. I think we are due for that. What we need basically is around 20 to 50 active IEEE members of membership or graduate student membership grade with a minimum membership period of 6 months. So if we start now, we are thinking that by early next year, we should be able to propose, petition to form a new section in Namibia. We can start with a subsection which involves just 20 membership, or we can go for a full section which will involve 50 membership. All the information is online, and if you need the support, which we have always been providing, I'll be happy to do that. So in conclusion, I'm going to say that IEEE remains the largest technical professional organization in the world. Our members are involved in all aspects of technology creation and development, and it is high time we push for the formation of a subsection or a section in Namibia so as to bring closer the benefits of this great institute to our members. Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I wish all a good and successful conference.
Thank you so much, Dr. Okuru, for really taking time to contextualize and put the mandate of the organization that is IEEE into really just telling us what it does and the benefits thereof. We highly appreciate that. He is speaking to us, as I understand it, all the way from the United States. So thank you so much for that. And another round of applause for him, please.
No, actually, I'm currently based in South Africa. Yeah, sorry about that.
The next speaker is from the US. Okay, no, great. Thank you so much. We still appreciate it. For our next speaker, she is a computer scientist in her own right, and part of the family. Again, we're still in the Nast family, and I must highlight, as a science communicator, I do thoroughly remember very well engaging a lot with Prof. Anisha Peters. She made my job so easy. You know, when you have an academic that constantly just tells you what it is that they're doing, and they're able to really break down their complex work for the layman to understand, it's just music to my ears. Prof, if I can ask you to come to the podium, please. She is the Chief Executive Officer of the National Commission on Research, Science and Technology, commonly referred to as NCRST.
Thank you so much, Kura, for those kind words. Yes, and I do remember fondly how I used to engage with you, and we were talking about bringing up the new cohort of science journalists. And I must say that I was pleasantly surprised that at many of NCRST's events so far, we have really seen science journalists who knows the essence and then knows how to sort of communicate that message to the world has been coming up in Namibia, which is for us very exciting. But VC and the chair for the conference, allow me to stand this morning on all of the protocols that was already so ably established. And I'm very excited to be here this morning. This is the 4th installment of this conference, and 3 of them had been here at NAST. The first one at NAST started in 2015. So, but it's also quite great to witness the growth in this conference, and all of the audience online will also agree, and to see, you know, that the publications had been growing. I think that we should get NAMDEP back to come and sponsor next year, right? I know that Prof. Singh has been telling me, well, you've sponsored some of the conferences, you know, you need to sponsor the one. Apparently it's next year in August already. See, CVC, he's already done his work to sort of speak to me about this. Okay, given that it's a tech conference this morning, I will be wearing 2 hats. The one hat is as the COO of NCRST, and the other hat is I'm also the chair of the 4IR Working Group for Africa under the AU ASRIC. ASRIC stands for the African Scientific Research and Innovation Council. So then the hat as NAST alum, and also the hat as the former Dean of Computing. I will leave that aside in the corner for now. I think Fungai is doing a great job on that. I want to take you through a little bit of what NCRST does. Because sometimes people think that NCRST is a research institution. Who thought that? Oh, okay, we do see some hands. NCRST is not a research institution. We do not perform research. In fact, we operate and were established by an Act of Parliament, Act number 23 of 2004, and that act has different parts of it that speaks to NCRST. So the act is essentially created to provide for the coordination, promotion, development, monitoring, and supervision of research, science, technology, and innovation in Namibia. As such, the first part of the act is establishing the NCRST. And the NCRST gets different roles assigned to it as to what does it mean on the coordination, promotion, development, monitoring, and supervision. So it has, for instance, regulatory powers. It has, for instance, that we have to do representation of science and technology for the country, that we have to conclude partnerships, etc. The second part of that act actually provides, or rather it's part 3 of the act, actually provides for the National Research, Science and Technology Fund. I've seen that people are asking, especially on social media, oh, we should establish a National Research Fund. No, we actually have it. That act says that NCRST has to administer the fund. So what does it mean? That fund is to make sure that there is money that is being provided in the form of calls and grants to the researchers and innovators and scientists and technologists within Namibia. That is what the fund is there for. So in essence, what NCRST is in other countries, because it's distinct different bodies, is also a research council. So we provide the funding. And let me just say, in terms of providing funding though, one of the things for globally for research councils that we're looking at is we're looking at impact. We want to drive impact. We want research to be transformative, and we want it to be transdisciplinary. And in the research council's sort of language, what does transdisciplinary mean? Transdisciplinary means working with communities, doing your research together with communities and not doing it in isolation. Ensuring, for instance, for us, there's another important component, and that's consortia. And this is what the NAMDEP CEO and the Etncc CEO is also referring to. And this is that we form consortia with communities, with private sector, because you need to have off-takers for your research to be sustainable beyond the period that you are being funded. NCRST has also funded a number of research grants already for NUST as well. I was, for instance, one of the recipients, and we are making more partnerships. I believe that there are some, there was recently an award to NUST as well, and I believe that there are more grants that are currently undergoing evaluation. So congratulations to NUST as well on that one. I don't know whether I can announce it, so I will keep it quiet for now. Okay, so except that we're a funder, there's another part in the Act that deals specifically with setting the national program for research, science, technology, and innovation. And it gives specific guidelines as to the period, as to how it should be, etc. And so essentially NCRST is tasked with developing that national program and also determining the research priorities for Namibia. Within that, there's also the notion of national facilities and national infrastructure. I'll refer to it as RSTI, Research, Science, Technology, and Innovation, so that I don't get out of breath by saying it. So essentially that is determine the priorities, but you can't determine priorities without telling the researchers and the scientists and innovators, where are you going to get the money? So that plan needs to make provision for the money. The plan also needs to make provision for capacity building, and it needs to make provision, for instance, for facilities. So we're responsible for national facilities. National facilities can be declared at a university or at an institution, or it can be commissioned. So this is as far as providing for that infrastructure is. We also have, for instance, science promotion, such as you must know the National Science Fairs, the National Mathematics Olympiads. I know that NUST is also participating oftentimes in the Mathematics Olympiads. We have the National Research Symposium, etc. We're responsible for innovation coordination as well. And as such, we're the focal point for SAIC, the Southern African Innovative Collective. But we're also responsible for setting up innovation hubs throughout the countries. Innovation hubs that not only NCRST is saying, we are going to go and build innovation hubs. No, it is also that the innovation hubs can be set up by private sector, by universities, etc. And it is then coordinated by NCRST so that we ensure that we also provide support to those hubs. Another thing is that we're also responsible for innovation, for information, data, everything about RSTI, and we do the information management systems as well as open science. Now, in April, we launched, for instance, the National Research and Development Survey. Who has read that report? Okay, 1, 2. Who has seen the report? Who knows that the report exists? Okay, I'll count you with the other 2. So 3. Okay, so every year, every country has to produce a national report on research and development expenditure or investments. African countries have committed to spend at least 1% of the GDP on research and development, right? However, all of the African countries are failing to achieve that, including South Africa and Egypt. Namibia, for 2022, has achieved a 0.73% investment of the GDP as a percentage. Hello? Do you know what that means? We came up from 0.34% to 0.73%, and it actually places us third in Africa, the third highest spender. However, it's good news for you, it's bad news for me, the next figure that I'm going to give, because 75% of that figure comes from higher education. Higher education is the highest contributor to research and development investments and expenditures, but that investment is mostly being driven from outside, right? So government has gone from being the biggest spender, where they were 45% in the past, they went down to a mere 6.6%. The second highest investor in research and development is private sector in Namibia with 26%. And that for the African continent is also something that Namibia is doing particularly well in. We have, and I think we need a round of applause for that. And then maybe just something that is, because I didn't mean to delve into that, it's just because you said you didn't see the report that I thought it might be interesting. Namibia has also significantly increased its its total headcount of researchers to over 3,000. However, the full-time equivalent is still a bit low, but it has also increased. The 50% of the researchers are female. And that you don't find in any other African country, or you find it even, I didn't do the research to see elsewhere in the world, but that is certainly also significant for us. The bad news is, though, that the technicians who are supposed to support research and development have dropped since 2014 in Namibia. That right there is a problem for not only research, but it's a problem for private sector. It's a problem everywhere. And this speaks to, for instance, the gaps in education that we are having in Namibia. And this is what we need to work on. I will now step off that. It's very interesting. Please do read it. We have even like little information leaflets compiled. Okay, finally, with NCRST, we're busy with the innovation survey. So please, if they contact you, please give your cooperation because it's important for the country that we have those measurements. Finally, in that very same act, there is one section that talks to the establishment of councils in Namibia. And it makes NCRST responsible for establishing councils as well as administering them. So it's a bit of a very big mandate that we have. So we have the National Biosafety Council, and we have the National Genetic Modified Organisms Testing Laboratory. We do also the inspections, but we do also the permitting. And Dr. Namab's name is a name that comes up so frequently when they are talking about biosafety, biotechnology, you know, the Biosafety Act, etc. I keep on seeing your name as being one of the pioneers. So I want to commend you on that. We also have the National Space Science Council, and it's the second one, council that is now, and we are busy finalizing the second National Indigenous Knowledge Management Council. Now, within our ambit, it obviously includes technology as well. And under the technology arm, and this was a time when I was still at NUST, the NCRST has actually established high-performance computing centers at both NUST and UNAM, at the time through support of the CHPC under the SADC Infrastructure Initiative. And there's also, you will know that the Southern Africa AI Conference has been hosted. There's a number of systems that we are rolling out, etc. But I want to stop here with AI because, and I want to circle it because AI is extremely topical right now. but not only right now, it is going to be for the next few years. For instance, recently I was a speaker on generative AI for the European Commission had funded 10 AI networks in Europe for the past 3 years. And some of those networks were coming in to give their, their learnings and where they are going to next and what their impact is. I saw some beautiful impact stories. And remember, AI touches everything that, that is in the sun and that which is in the elephant's graveyard. But so it's extremely diverse, right? All of the sectors are affected. But what was interesting is that because the European Commission was essentially mapping out the next 5 years, the AI vision for the next 5 years. And they announced that they are going to be investing over 4 billion euros into generative AI. Please note, it's very specific. It's generative AI. They further announced that they will invest, that's in terms of the research, they will invest over 500 million euros into generative AI applications. That's it. Further to that, at the same time, across Europe, the universities were bringing, and those networks were bringing the PhD programs in AI that they are going to be rolling out from now onwards. And then, of course, the investments are coming from the European Commission, but it's also coming from research councils such as ours, so stepping off this, let me also say that on last week we were in Italy for the Space Leaders Conference between Italy and Africa. And the interesting thing is that Italy had announced the Mattei Plan. Doctor, you might be aware of it. The Mattei Plan for Africa is a multi-billion-dollar investment plan into certain areas on the continent. And Namibia is one of the countries that is specifically targeted under the Mattei Plan. But when I looked at who is involved from Namibia, there was only one connection to Italy, and it was not NAS. So we need to connect you to that network. But when they were talking about, about the space satellites and applications, etc., what is the one topic that dominated again? It was AI, right? So with this, remember I said that we're not a research entity, right? So we have to make the collaborations for the research performers such as NAS. So yesterday we had with one of the AI networks in Europe already talks about connecting them to all of the researchers in Namibia, and that includes, for instance, robotics, AI and robotics. It includes, for instance, the weather radar, weather monitoring and modeling, and it includes, for instance, something called urban air, which monitors also changes on the Earth over time. And it has, like, for instance, heritage, using AI in museums, etc. Now, one of the things is with AI, there are different topical issues that are being discussed right now, such as trustworthy AI and human-centered AI. But one other thing is the cost of AI. Who here has been looking into the cost of AI? Because it's actually a big research topic. Nobody. Okay, Atli has. So AI is extremely costly. And as we are advancing, it becomes more and more difficult because AI infrastructure needs a lot of energy, right? And you're looking at Africa that's already energy insecure, our regions that's already energy insecure, because those the data and the AI infrastructure, such as the high performance computing infrastructure, it's all dependent on energy. And then, of course, we need skills, highly specialized skills. We need the funding, and then, of course, we need to have the regulatory framework. So NCRST has already, because we're tasked with establishing the National AI Institute, has already called for a national working group in AI, and NAST has already sent through some nominations. So you will be hearing much more about that. Coming back to the continent, what's happening on the continent is that the AU has just adopted the AI strategy, continental strategy, as well as the digital compact for Africa. And this is a very exciting step forward for all of us, because all of our strategies will now follow the AI strategy. And then, of course, the 4IR working group, we're starting now with the 4IR strategy for Africa. And I am very excited to sort of see how all of you could participate in that. Now, Director of Ceremonies, NCRST is very well aware of the demands of a rapidly changing digital technological world, but we also believe in co-creating our digital future with the universities from Namibia and elsewhere. And hence, we are constantly looking for connections and for funding to provide to researchers within our universities in Namibia, and for them to provide the necessary educational program. Therefore, I'd like to congratulate NAST not only with organizing this very timely conference, but also for being in the process of developing your bachelor's degree in human-computer interaction and your bachelor's degree in artificial intelligence. This makes NAST one of the very, very few universities on the African continent to even be rolling out at bachelor's level in artificial intelligence. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Peters. We highly appreciate that. I'm sure everybody now has a better appreciation of exactly what it is the NCRST does. Slight change on our program. We will now to move on to Prof. Etncc, the Director-elect of the IEE Region 8 from the University of Limerick. But unfortunately, he's unable to commit, so he will not be joining us. And then another slight change, our Honorable Minister has an equally important engagement, so she too cannot be with us here today. So with that said, we're going to move on to Prof. Andrew Nikondo. I'm tempted to say Dr. Andrew Nikondo, I've been saying it for so long, but Prof. Sorry? Is the mic low? Oh, okay, the speaker is now available. So I think we're going to have our speaker first. Prof, I know you've got another engagement. If you can just bear with us just a little bit. Our speaker online, Prof. Michael G. Etncc, the Director-elect, will give us some remarks, please. Thank you. I understand there's a storm in the USA right now in the area in which he is, so we are going to, I hope it's fine. We're going to now move on to Prof. Andrew Nikondo to give the vote of thanks. Sir?
Some people are coming because they know I'm going to struggle. Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. for this opportunity, and just like others, let me stand on the protocols as established by our Vice Chancellor, so I don't have to violate that. Because I've seen everyone has just said the same. Let me follow suit. So another thing of interest is like, it was in 2015 that we had this conference at the country club. And I believe, and remember when yesterday I was checking, on the vote of thanks in my computer, I found, I was also scheduled for the vote of thanks for that one. So that I don't know how it is like a coincidence that I'm always for the vote of thanks. Maybe next time I will have something to speak, but no more the vote of thanks. So that's what I realized. So in that regard, really, I'm very happy and also feel greatly honored to deliver the vote of thanks to all those who attended, sponsored and presented to make this conference opening a memorable event for all of us. It is humbling indeed to host an international conference like this one at NAST. We are very happy indeed. As we say, it's not the first time, it is another time again that we have. So we really feel honored to have this conference here with us. As we all are aware that research is the core business of a university and the mother of innovation and invention. So it strengthens the relationship between industry and academia and civil society, academia and government, as academics do research and provide solutions to industry, civil society and government, which when implemented will enhance the national economy as well as the livelihood of the citizens. There were so many technical presentations here on current industry trends from our partners and sponsors as a witness to the relationship academia has with the ecosystem. As a University of Science and Technology, we are mandated to carry out applied research which can be used to address national socio-economic goals in line with our NDP, HPP2, and Vision 2030, and also in line with AEU Agenda 2063 and the UN SDGs. So undoubtedly, ICT is enabling tool for realizing the knowledge economy as envisioned in our NDP 5, which aims to achieve inclusive, sustainable, and equitable growth for Namibia, for Namibian society by year 2024. This will lay the foundation for a resilient economy, investments for NDP 6, which is now coming, where sustainable development for all citizens will be the goal. So we are extremely grateful to our Minister of Higher Education, Honorable Dr. Etncc Murangi. Of course, she's not here, but we really acknowledge her support for our programs and even events of this nature. In addition, let me also thank our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Eronamo, for his constant and even guidance in making this happen annually at NAST. So we thank you, VC, for that. Your support and commitment to research and innovation-inspired education are our torch for successful hosting events of this magnitude. So equally, it is a deep honor and privilege for me to extend a word of thanks to Prof. Etncc Of course, he was trying to connect now. Maybe he can hear me. We thank you, Prof. I know technology has failed us, but I know that you were trying to connect. But we really thank you for that you were ready also to give us something, but probably going to receive the copy of what Prof was going to tell us. So, in addition, we are grateful to Prof. Aku, Chair of the IEEE South African section, for their constant support and technical guidance in making this conference happen in Namibia, adhering to the international standard of peer review publications and listing on Scopus indexing. This one very, very good for us. If we are listed in this, then I'm very happy, and as the VC has said, 15 papers from here. Really, maybe I'm going to be, these papers are going to be listed in this platform. So I'm very happy. I can see even Dr. Anna here is smiling because that's what she always wants to hear. So it is adjusted. Maybe I'm not from NBC, you know. I'm not used to this type of things. And let me also express my sincere appreciation to Mr. Frederick Katire. Frederick Katire. So the acting Deputy Secretary General, Namibia National Commission for UNESCO Secretariat, who also honored this occasion with your presence, first of all. It is through partnership with you that our UNESCO chairs came. So we are really very happy indeed to see you here and to have you here. So we convey our sincere thanks to Prof. Anishi Peters. She's our CEO of NCRST. And maybe to some extent, I don't know, because she was also our staff member. I've been with Prof. Anisha for many years. Maybe I can't remember them, even before last. So we really thank you to come here and also to give us that background. Particularly myself, I'm very happy to see you because it is a while that I was here last. So I'm very happy, in fact. So we are deeply grateful for the wisdom and even thoughtfulness that you shared with us in your speech. So we thank you for your generosity because you also assist our staff. But then I got one good news again in terms of support. That one is the only thing that I took note. Maybe some other thing, but that was very important. Because if you mention that money, then I would be happy. So I think I also have to thank Dr. Lick now. He has left. He's not here now because he just said to me, I got another meeting. So then I thought he was coming back, but he's not here. But really, Dr. Lick, we really thank you, and we appreciate your support of the research communities in fostering innovation. You know, this is our partner. It's one of our partners, and to see here, to see this in this building, you have gone around it. So it's one of the secrets. I don't want to announce it because the VC did not say it. Just go around here. So this is one of our good partners. So it's good. Of course, in absentia, now we thank Dr. Lick for that. But maybe because this is hosted and organized in a particular faculty, the general chair of the conference, Prof. Fungai, Shava, program chair, Prof. Singh. Yeah, he is. You know, everywhere he meets me, even in town, he always talks about this conference. If I see him coming, I know. Yeah, before the conference, even in town, when you see, so the conference, there's only one man. I met him again. So now there's only one, and 1 week. So he was very, very serious with this one by organizing and also the technical committee. Ushers and chairs, thank you for organizing a great scientific meeting on our campus. So we will put us on the map. Those who don't know, NAS, because I see we've got a lot of participants who are now there online. So we are now known. Those who did not know NAS, now they know. Because usually people, if you Google, you find another name, NAS. Have you seen it? But that one is NUST. The National University of Science and Technology in Zimbabwe. And that one is NUST, I'm talking of the pronunciation, if you Google, So, but this is NAS now, it's no, because of your efforts, the committee for what you have done. So that's very, very important. So we hope that you enjoy the conference from now on, and we are looking forward to seeing you at the another same conference next year, 2025. I don't know whether it's going to be here again or maybe somewhere else, but I think it's going to be an Prof. Singh, he say yes. Yeah, it's August next year, and Prof. Singh is saying yes, but I think you are still going to remind me again. Right. So thank you all for being here, and I wish you these 3 days of enriching discussions and debates ahead. Please remain seated until there are further instructions from the director of the ceremonies, who will direct us henceforth. Maybe refreshment, I don't know. The director of ceremony, did not say the, no, I did not say the girl. So thank you very much for even what you have done, because usually we don't thank the director of ceremony, we just thank other people. But I enjoy, when I see you here, I enjoy your directorship. So in that regard, I want to thank you all for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. Nkondo. That is highly appreciated. Thank you for thanking every single person that's here today. When Prof comes to the podium, you're guaranteed you're going to be in stitches. You're going to be laughing, quite entertained. It reminds me of a time we traveled to the north, almost 700 kilometers. My sides were hurting, to say the least. Thank you so much, Prof. Okay, now with that said, I'm going to call upon Prof. Fungai Shava to come to the podium, please. I understand you've got something for the speakers.
Thank you so much, Director of Ceremonies. Let me invite the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Errol Naumab, to the podium, and the Acting DVC Research and Innovation and Partnerships, Dr. Anna Matros-Goreses. Please come forward. We have a small token of appreciation for our speakers. So we'll call the speakers to the podium, and then we'll hand over the gifts. The VC and the DVC will do the honors. The first speaker to come forward is Mr. Ferdinand Katire. Thank you so much, sir. I'm not sure who is, I think Prof will be representing Mr. Rian Beggar, who is around from NAMDEB. Oh, okay. So Dr. NG, the original, yes, receiving. Mr. Rian Beggar. Mr. Nawa, are you in the midst on behalf of Dr. Erastus? I see Malesk is making a way. Okay, no. All right. So Dr. AMG will be the recipient again. All right. Thank you. For Dr. Kuru, Prof. Singh will make a plan to send it forward. Our next recipient is Professor Anisha Peters.
I was almost excited. I thought it was a laptop.
Next time we'll use NCRST money to buy a very big laptop for our guest speakers. Then next, the person who is always tasked with giving the vote of thanks, we can also appreciate you. Oh, wow. Professor Nikondo.
You have made me so happy. Appreciate you.
Our Director of Ceremonies, we appreciate you. Please come forward. Miss Brand. Thank you so much. And Vice Chancellor, you did a very good job.
I did
And
did not know about this.
yes, I know you did not know, but we need to also acknowledge you. And this is a conference package, just like everyone getting so that. He doesn't have anything special in there. Right.
Yes.
Thank you. Over to you, Director of Ceremonies.
Thank you so much, Prof. Fungai. I expected you to give yourself a gift. Okay, great. On that note, we just a quick announcement actually. Before everybody gets on to the next session, if you registered, please do make sure that you pick up your registration kit from the registration desk. Now, without further ado, I think we need to now rise for the national and AU anthems, please. note, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kuda Brandt, and I hope I earned the privilege of your time. Thank you so much. Sorry, break. Please note there are some refreshments in the back, so please help yourselves to that, and then thereafter the technical sessions will begin. Thank you so much. I'm so terrible. And the way I'm like